Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Scottish Wedding Show and the Let's Talk Tie the Knot stage. My name's Olivia Simpson, I'm staff writer with Tie the Knot Scotland, Scotland's #1 wedding magazine. You can come and see us on stand 428F, just over there by the catwalk, and you can also pick up a copy of the magazine at the back there. We've put together a programme of informative talks and Q&As from some of Scotland's leading wedding industry experts, including these gentlemen here, that will hopefully offer lots of practical advice and inspiration to help guide you on your journey to the top of the aisle. In a moment, I'll pass over to the boys, and then once they've both spoken, there'll be an opportunity for a Q&A. So these days, we're all used to posing for Instagram stories and TikToks, but your wedding photos and videos are going to be around a whole lot longer than 24 hours, so it does pay to get them right. I'm joined on stage by two camera pros who are going to talk us through how to find the right person to capture your wedding, what to expect on the day, key shots, timings and top tips for those who freeze when the lens is pointed at them. We have Martin McLellan of McLellan Photography, who's on stand 438E this weekend, and he's poised to share his wedding photography knowledge, before Jason Hunter of Afterglow Wedding Films gives his take, and he's on stand 412C this weekend. So, Martin, over to you to kick things off.
Okay, so it's just a few of you here, obviously, so I'll just talk to you guys. So, just to introduce myself, so my name's Martin, and my company is called McLellan Photography. I've been specialising in weddings for about 8 years now. Throughout that time, I've met so many amazing people, travelled all over Scotland, and furthest I've been to is France, so I get to call it my job, which is amazing. It doesn't really feel like a job. So I'm just going to talk about a few points that might be beneficial for you. So the first point is finding the right person to photograph your wedding. There's obviously so much choice out there, and it can get a bit confusing for everyone, so just have a good look around, see what their style is like, if it's like light and airy, if it's like darker pictures, or just see what you like, because there's so much choice now. And there's also like documentary style photography, there's like more formal photography as well, so I would suggest just taking your time and just going through it all and seeing what you prefer. So the way I work is mostly documentary, so it's being in the background for most of the day, so you don't really notice that I'm there too much. It's quite light as well, so I'm not going to drag you away for hours and pose for like 2 or 3 hours on the day. I literally take you away on the day for like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, get a few nice shots of just a couple, and then the rest of the day is really kind of me in the background, so you don't even notice me throughout the day. And in terms of timings on the day, I'm there from bridal preparations all the way through to the first dance in the evening. So about 8 or 9 hours. So you'll be quite sick of me by the end of it. And also, if you're feeling a bit nervous about getting your photograph taken, a good way to kind of help you relax is to do an engagement shoot. These are done maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the wedding date. We go to a location like Glasgow or somewhere nice in Scotland, spend 1 or 2 hours just getting to know each other, kind of breaks the ice a bit, and we get some brilliant pictures out of it as well, so I would really suggest doing that before the wedding date. So just to go over another point is obviously when you're choose a photographer whose work you love the most, because you're going to get a lot of different opinions from like friends and family and mums and aunties and stuff like that, so just go with what you feel is best for you. And the photography and videography is one of the only things that you're going to have left after the wedding day. Like the flowers are going to go and the cake's going to be eaten and stuff like that, so just choose wisely and take your time when you're picking a photographer, because it is something that will be passed down through the generations. So I think, that's about it really. If you want to come and see me, I'm over at stand 438E, and we can have a wee chat and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I've got to say, I think. So thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers.
All right, I'm in. Hello, how are we doing? I'm going to make sure that I'm not speaking like that. I think we're good. Okay, cool. So my name is Jason. There we go. My name is Jason. I run Afterglow Wedding Films based in Glasgow. And today we're talking about how to choose a videographer.
I'll just ask Jason some questions. It's been quite a long weekend, and I think there's been a lot of talking to lots of people. We'll do it this way. So how would you describe your style?
So my style, I'm definitely more of an energetic videographer. I like to focus on the fun, crazy, energetic side of things. So you have sort of a traditional wedding film, which is all about love and everything. That's great, and we get you're in love. But I like to focus on the mental party sort of side of things. It's really energetic side. That's kind of more my style. Definitely catering to a different from the traditional, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and in terms of the final product, what are you giving people? Are you giving people 2-hour-long videos, 30-second social media clips? What do they come away with at the end?
Yeah, do you know, it really matters what you'd like at the end of it, because I can offer many different things. You got 4-minute films, 8-minute films, 12 minutes. It doesn't necessarily matter what length you get. It's all about choosing something that you would be comfortable to sit down and watch. I also do things where you can get complete uncut footage, where it goes like 3 hours long, for people who love the kind of whole movie vibe side of thing as well. So it's definitely entirely up to you what you like, but I like to pack a lot of story into it. So the longer it is, the more story I can really get with that.
Mm-hmm. And how do you know what the story of the day is? What helps you find something that's going to make that particular wedding video special and different?
Perfect. So yeah, I love getting to know couples right before a wedding. It's really good to kind of absorb what makes you essentially. But you'll take audio from the ceremony, from the speeches, and from that you can pinpoint little bits of story from that. So yeah, that's I'm always listening out for little cues to kind of tell where the story is going to go from there.
Yeah. And on the day, how long are you? I think that's gone off. Has that gone off? No? On the day, how long are you with couples? Are you arriving for prep, staying the whole day? Do you do different packages? What's the story? Yeah,
so I'd be there for around 10 hours, which covers you from 2 hours before the ceremony up until about an hour after the dancing begins. Basically, it's full coverage of the entire day, so nothing really gets missed from that.
Yeah, that sounds lengthy for you. And also, presumably then you get a really nice mix of footage from nerves at the start to just everyone cutting loose on the dance floor.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, I'm a professional lurker, essentially. Just hanging about all day, never really being in your face with anything. I like to kind of mingle with all the guests and sort of just be that kind of hidden camera in the corner. So you never really know what you're going to get, because you can't really see that I'm doing what I'm doing. So.
Yeah. So presumably for you, a lot clicks into place in the editing process.
Yeah, you never know what the film's going to look like until the day is actually over. So when you're like choosing music and something, you can't really pre-select what the music is going to be, because the mood of the day can be completely different. So I'm piecing it together after the day's kind of been said and done. That's when I can kind of see what's going on with it.
And speaking of music, are people able to pick their own favourite songs for the soundtrack? How does that work with licensing, etc.?
So, like copyright music, like Ed Sheeran and things, like I'm just not going to be able to afford to get Ed Sheeran on the thing legally, anyway. Mm-hmm. So I purchase royalty-free music from a pretty premium brand. So you do get some really amazing music coming from it. But pre-selecting it, I can obviously find out the influences of what you kind of like. But most of the time, you couldn't, like, for example, if you just I really want a heavy rock track over it, but it's a really romantic day, it's just not gonna fit. So I like to complement the footage with music that really helps tell the story of it.
Okay, great. And what part of the day are you most interested in capturing?
I mean, I love the party, the dancing stuff at the end of it. Whenever you see my footage, it's always about the energetic dancing craziness. So that's the kind of thing that I love to get, because people are just let loose, and they're most comfortable with me at that point because they've been around me all day as well. So, I love the dancing part, and I would say that's definitely
ideal. It's always better once people have had a couple of glasses of wine or something stronger. And obviously not everybody does book a videographer. So there's still some people that think they're fine with just a photographer. We do want both, though. So how do you convince people that they need you? Why do you think it's important to have a videographer?
I was really obsessed with home movies when I was a kid. caravan trip and stuff like that. And although that might not be interesting to anyone else when they're watching it, but that is priceless to me. It's a nostalgic heirloom, is what I'd say. And it's something you can sit down in 10, 20 years' time, just actually relive that. The fact that technology is so good now, I mean, think in the 90s we were just on those VHS tapes and the quality just wasn't there. But now we're kind of future-proof. So I would say take advantage of that, because it's one opportunity you can get to.
Yeah, I also do hear a lot of couples saying to me that the day just goes so fast, they miss so much of it, especially if they're away with a photographer. There might be elements they're missing, guest interactions, etc. So it almost gives the couple more information on their own day as well, which is obviously fab. And then why should they've decided to have a videographer, why did they pick you? This is the sales pitch.
I definitely cater to a unique clientele. I am definitely going for the people that they're having this wedding, not just for themselves, but for everyone that they love. And I want to show off the party and the big event that you had exactly how you planned it. So we won't shy away from anything. If someone's doing a worm, it's getting thrown in there, guaranteed. We're not just going to cater it to be this romantic thing. It's going to be something that you're actually going to really want to rewatch, because I pile a bunch of story in there. So my aim is to create something that you want to watch again and again, rather than just some clips to music. There's actually thought that really puts into it.
Ideal, and I suppose that's the difference between a whole movie and a well-crafted story, which is what you're producing. Yeah. So that's ideal. Did we have any questions from the audience? I know it's a bit daunting sometimes. You don't want a microphone put in your face. No? 1 second. Got a lady here.
Do you use a drone?
Yes, definitely use a drone. The drone is like a story. It's another bit of equipment I can use to tell a story. So the way I would use a drone is to establish where we are. Usually I have a venue, an entire venue there. So I don't really overuse it. So if in the photography session and things, it doesn't come out unless like there's a specific request for it. But I don't necessarily feel that adds to the story unless there's like a big gathering in a courtyard or something. It's how I move from one scene to another using a drone to kind of tell that's exactly where we are. But it's always pretty cool getting out and so.
Yeah, it's cool. Anything else from anyone? No. Martin, I'll give you a wee question since you've been sat here too. What's your favourite part of the day to capture?
My favourite part of the day is probably the dancing in the evening. I feel like everybody's more relaxed at that point. And you get some great stuff at that time as well, because as I said, everybody's relaxed and having fun, and they're not scared to be in front of the camera at that point as well, so they'll actively look for the camera at that point, so it's really good for me.
So you see a real real change in the guests throughout the day as they do warm up?
Yeah, definitely. So this one's went up. Does it work? Okay. Yeah. Definitely. So at the start, everybody's a bit kind of more kind of timid, and as soon as they see the camera they'll back off, but yeah, as the day goes on, usually after dinner everybody's kind of a bit more lively and stuff like that, so definitely. So
feed your guests, people, and your pictures will come out much better. If we don't have any more questions, let's wrap that up, I think. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day. We can go to these guys' stands if you want to ask any questions without having a microphone pointed in your face. I can completely understand that. So yes, thank you very much, and thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you. Cheers.